All right, so yeah guys, starting in this seated cross chin, let's do our neck cars. So tuck your chin to your chest. Now reach your chin towards your armpit. Look over your shoulder. Drop your ear back, start to look up. Drop your ear to the other back pocket, look over your other shoulder. Chin to armpit and back through the middle. We're going to do 2 more reps this direction. And what I want you guys to focus on is any parts of the rotation that feel more tight than others. So just make a mental note of where those parts are for you. Okay, last rep this direction. Okay guys, back the other way for 3. Again, pay attention to how this rotation feels. Try and make it as smooth and controlled as possible. Okay guys, just switch the cross of your legs. Now wherever you felt tightest throughout that rotation, I want you to come back to that position. So for example, for me, kind of like maybe this direction. Now I just want you to take a hand and just gently stretch. Wherever that is for you. So you could be here, you could be here. Just gently take your hands and just find a good stretch in the neck. Make sure you don't feel any pinching on the closing side. You want to feel a stretch on the opening side. All right guys, just hold that. I'm just going to put the music on. And yeah, if you can guys, stay in this seated cross chin. Otherwise, if you need to, you can come out into a different position. Just relax, deep breaths. Try to relax everything in the body. Okay guys, we're gonna do a quick pails and rails. So I want you to start to engage what's stretching and push up into your hand. Just gradually come up to about 50% effort. If that feels okay, you can go a little harder, 60, 70, 80%. And switch to rails. So now engage on the opposite side. Try to pull your neck into a deeper stretch. All right, back to passive. Okay guys, come out of that one. Just come to now a kneeling position. So if you're comfortable here, that's fine. Or if you need any props, you can grab those. I'm actually going to grab some yoga blocks. to sit on because my calf is hurting from rugby. Okay guys, so from here now, I want you to pick one more spot in the neck that's tight. So it might be the same spot just on the opposite side, or it might just be a completely different spot. So again, from this kneeling position, take your hand and just find a stretch. So especially with the neck, it's cool to sit in another position while you stretch the neck, so you can do sort of a 2-for-1. Alright guys, let's do the pails and rails now for this new position. So just push up into your hand, engage what's stretching. 40%, 60%, as long as there's no pain. 3, 2, 1, switch to the rails, engage on the other side. And back to passive. Okay guys, come out of that. And we'll just finish with 2 more neck cars. So we'll do one each direction. So tuck the chin, rotate, and laterally flex. Look up, drop the ear back, look over that other shoulder, back to the middle, and back the other way for 1. So this is a great way to loosen up the neck. Do some cars, then wherever it feels tight, do some pails and rails, and then a couple more cars. Nice work guys. Okay, now we're gonna move on to doing some work on the wrists. So we're gonna do a couple wrist cars in some different positions. So let's now move into a seated straddle position. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can pick a different position. Okay, now from here, we're going to do our wrist cars, starting with our 2 bones here, the radius and ulna, on top of each other. All right, so make sure we're not rotating the elbows, we're just moving the wrists. So let's start by pointing our pinkies down. Now point our fingers in towards each other. And then come up this way, and then point the fingers out to the side. Good, one more this direction. All right guys, 2 the other way, point out to the side, reach up, and point fingers towards each other. And 1 more. Good work guys. Okay, now we're gonna do a couple more wrist cars, but instead of starting here, we're gonna start like this. So palms are facing up. So this is a little bit more difficult. So now imagine you're balancing something on your forearm. So if you turn your forearm, that's gonna fall off. So keep your forearm pointing up and your palm pointing up. All right guys, so from here, we're gonna come to the inside and then come into Wrist extension, point the fingers down, then go to the outside, then come to wrist flexion. Keep those palms facing up, keep the bottom of your forearms facing up. All right, guys, let's go back the other way for 2. Nice work. Okay, now we're going to stretch out our wrists. So let's come back to whichever position you found more comfortable, whether that's your kneeling position or your seated cross shin. Or you can just stay in the straddle if you want. All right, so this one, guys, we're actually going to work on our wrist flexion. So I want you to make a fist. Then take your other hand and push down on your hand like this, like a false grip. And then you should feel a nice stretch on this side of the wrist. So this is going to be great for your false grip on your muscle ups on the rings, but also just great to keep your wrist feeling good and healthy. So we'll do 1 more minute passive, and then we're going to do pails and rails for the wrist flexion. So guys, for pails, we're pushing up into the hand. So we're like pushing this way. Rails, we're squeezing all on this side, trying to pull our palm closer to our forearm. All right, guys, so 20% effort, push up into that hand. 40%. Stop before you feel any pain. If not, keep pushing harder. 3, 2, 1, switch to rails, squeeze on the other side, reach that palm towards the forearm. And back to passive. All right, guys, come out of that side, and we're going to switch over to our other wrist. So yeah, make that fist, other hand on top, and push down. One more minute passive stretch, guys. If you need to adjust what position you're sitting in, that's fine. All right, guys, start pushing up into that top hand. 40%. As long as there's no pain. 60, 80%. Create tension in the rest of your body. 3, 2, 1. Switch to rails. Try to squeeze. Get as much wrist flexion as you can. Squeeze all along the forearms. And back to passive. All right, guys, come out of that. Now that we've worked on our wrist flexion, we're gonna now work on our wrist extension. So this way. So this is a much needed range of motion for a lot of movements. Think push-ups, burpees, handstands, front rack, jerks, a lot of stuff in the gym. So what we're gonna do is come to the hands and knees. And we're going to point the fingers in towards us. And now the more we shift back, the more stretch we're going to feel in the forearms. So just find a nice stretch. All right, guys, while we're here, let's just do a couple more neck cars. So tuck your chin, reach for your armpit, look over your shoulder, start to look up, drop your ear to the other side, look over that shoulder, back through the middle. One more this way. Make sure you still feel a good stretch in the wrists. All right, guys, once you're back to the middle, let's go back the other way. Maybe you feel that your forearms are relaxing, so you can shift your weight a little further back. And one more rep on the neck cars. All right, guys, now we're in a really nice deep stretch for the wrists. We're going to do our PAILs and RAILs. So to start with, guys, I want you to, let's start one finger at a time. Let's start pushing through your index finger. Now push through the middle finger. Push through the ring finger. Push through your pinky. Now push through your knuckles. Push into the ground with your palm. All right, now push through everything, 80%. Max effort. Imagine you could dig your fingers through the floor. 3, 2, 1. Now switch to the other side. Try to lift your fingers. Try to lift your palm. Come into as much wrist extension as you can. 3, 2, 1. Back to passive stretch. Nice work, guys. All right, guys, slowly come out of that. And just make a couple circles with the wrist, not necessarily cars, just kind of just get a little bit of movement back in there. Turn this down a little. Ugh. Okay, guys, from here, we're going to still work on our wrist extension, but we're going to do what's called passive range holds. So this time our fingers are going to point forwards. What we're going to do is we're going to lean forwards until we feel a stretch. Then we're going to engage on this side of the wrist. Try to lift our fingers. Then we're going to slowly rock backwards until our fingers actually lift. So I'll just do a demo. So we're going to lean forward till I feel a stretch. Then engage, try to lift the fingers, Lean back until I get a small lift off, and then put the fingers back down. Let me just tilt the laptop down. You can't see. So guys, we're gonna do 5 reps like this. So shift the weight forwards, get a good stretch. Now engage, try to lift the fingers. Slowly lean back until the hands lift, and then put them back on the floor. Now lean forwards again. Engage, slowly lean back until they come off, and hands back down. Nice, 3 more guys. Squeeze, engage, slowly lean back. Good, 2 more. You should feel really tired on the back of the wrist muscles now. Engage, lean back. Last rep. Good, squeeze. Really try to fight to lift those hands and the fingers. All right, and take a break. Once again, guys, just move those wrists around a little bit. All right, guys, now one more exercise for this wrist extension. We're gonna do some lift-offs this time. So I want you to come to a point where you can just barely lift the palms off the floor. And we're gonna do 5 reps of 3-second holds. Make sure it's challenging, so don't make it really easy for yourself. All right, so yeah, find that point where you can just barely lift the hands. Don't bend the elbows either, guys. It's all in the wrists. All right, ready and lift. 1, 2, 3, and back down. And lift. And back down. Lift. And down. 2 more. Lift. Back down. Last rep. Lift, hold, and down. Good job, guys. So yeah, that is our passive range holds for wrist extension. Sorry, passive range holds and then lift-offs. So just come back to this kneeling position. We'll just do a couple more wrist cars. This time we're gonna do them with our hands closed rather than flat. All right, guys, so have the thumbs on top, facing up. Now reach down, point down with the knuckles, then sweep to the inside, and then reach up with the thumb, and then point the knuckles to the outside. 2 more this direction. All right, guys, back the other way, 3 reps. Remember, we're trying to only move the wrist, not the elbow. Good work. All right, I hope your wrists are feeling nice and loose now. Okay, we're going to do a little bit on the elbows and then a little bit on the fingers. So let's come back. I'll give you the choice. You can either do seated straddle, or you could do legs straight out in front, or you could do seated cross shin, whichever you prefer. All right, guys, then we're gonna do, rather than doing our elbow cars with our arms by our side, we're gonna actually lift up and do them with our arms out in front of us. Okay, guys, so palms facing the ceiling. Let's do a bicep, imaginary bicep curl. Squeeze the biceps, rotate the palms facing forwards, and extend. Squeeze the triceps, rotate, and curl, Hold that rotation, squeeze, rotate as much as possible, and extend. One more this direction, guys. Really get as much rotation as you can. All right, guys, keep the palms facing down. Curl, squeeze, rotate, extend. Good, 2 more reps, guys. Slow and controlled. Imagine that air is super thick. Last rep. Well done, well done. All right, guys, now I want you to place one hand on the mat in front of you. We're going to go through the finger cars now. So I want you to keep your palm flat on the ground and just lift the pinky finger up. And we're going to make as big circles as we can with the pinky without any of the other fingers moving. You're going to do 2 reps each direction. So switch directions. Okay, guys, leave the pinky back down. Take your ring finger. Same thing. This one's a little bit more difficult. Just do your best. 2 each way. Okay, now moving on to the middle finger. Slow and controlled. And 2 the other way. And the pointer finger, index finger. And back the other way. And last but not least, the thumb, guys. All right, guys, flip your palm over. Spread your hand as wide as you can. Now I want you to start to curl your fingers and your thumb, starting from the tip and working your way through the knuckles until you make as tight a fist as you can, thumb on the outside. Then we're going to open the hand back out slowly, like a fern that's unfurling, and then spread those fingers as wide as you can. 1 more rep on this, guys. Nice work. All right, if you're in the cross shin, let's switch sides again. Switch the cross of the legs, and now we're gonna do those hand cars on the other side. So yeah, let's start again with the pinky. 2 reps each way. And other direction. Okay, move on to that ring finger. It's the one I find the hardest. And the middle finger. And guys, try to only move that one finger at a time, even if it's a smaller circle. Try not to move any of the other fingers. And then the pointer finger. And then the thumb. Good work. Flip the hand over. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Start to curl from the tip through the knuckles. And then make that fist. And open back out. Spread as wide as you can. 1 more rep, guys. All right, nice work. So those are our finger cars. We've done our wrists, we've done the elbows, and we've done the neck. So we've still got a little bit more time. So I'm gonna take a request now from you guys. So with the last 10 minutes of today, what do you wanna work on? Let me know.
Hips.
Hips? Okay.
Hips or shoulders? That's my better.
All right, thanks, Brad. How about Isabella and Elijah? Hips and back, okay.
Yeah, any of those.
Okay, cool. All right, I think hips has the most votes by the sounds of it. Cool. All right, guys, let's come to bear sit. So bend the knees 90 degrees. Get your feet as wide apart as you can. Hands behind you. Now let's start with our left leg. Just internally rotate, so drop that knee in, but don't let your sitting bones lift. So keep both your butt cheeks on the floor. Now from here, you can just take your left hand and gently press down on the knee. And guys, if you feel any pinching on the inside, we don't want that, so you might want to either lean back a little bit more or just adjust the position of your foot, so maybe move your foot out a little bit more or in. But make sure we're avoiding pain. We always want to feel a stretch, not a pinch. "30 seconds longer on this side. All right, guys, just open up that knee. And now drop the right knee in. And yeah, if it feels good, just take your right hand, gently push down. "30 seconds left on this side, guys. So yeah, internal rotation of the hip is something we don't often work on in a lot of our training, so it's always good to work on it. All right, guys. Next, come to butterfly position. So we're going to skip the pails and rails. We're going to do a little more passive stretching, and then we're going to do what's called an isometric movement pathway at the end, which is going to be very active, requires a lot of strength and control, and it's a little bit more of a challenge to finish. While we're here, guys, you could even keep stretching the neck as well if you want. Just find an angle. All right, guys, now come to the seated straddle. Last passive stretch before we do our isometric movement pathway. 90 seconds here. Okay, guys, here comes the fun challenge. So, stay in this seated straddle, but place your hands behind you. All right, guys, we're gonna move from here into our bear sit in a very specific way. So, start with your right leg. I want you to try to lift that right leg up. Keep the heel up. Now bend the knee, and then place your heel down. Okay, same with the left side, guys. Lift up, keep the heel off the ground, and place it down. So now we're back in our bear sit. Okay, guys, from here, take your left knee in without letting the sitting bones lift, and then open it back out. And then same thing with the right side. All right, guys, now from here, lift up that left foot. Bring it into that butterfly position, place it down. Now lift that right leg up, bring it in, and place it back down. Nice work, guys. Now we're gonna move all the way back out. So lift that right foot up, keep it high, back into your bear sit position. Lift up that left side, slide it out, and place it down. All right, now drop in that right knee and open it back up, and left knee. Open it back up. Okay, lift that right foot up, straighten out the leg. Don't let the heel touch until your leg is straight, and place the foot down. Nice, guys. Lift up that left foot, keep that leg up, and place it back down. All right, guys, let's just do that one more time. Okay, deep breath. Lift up that leg, bend the knee, place the foot down. Other side. Nice job. All right. Drop one knee in, back out. Other knee in, open it back up. Okay, lift one foot up, bring it back into that butterfly position, and other foot. All right, guys, let's move our way back out. Lift one foot up, place it down in that bear sit, other foot. Smooth and controlled throughout these movements, guys. Drop that knee in, open it back out, and right knee, and out. And last thing to finish, lift one heel up, keep that heel in the air till the leg is straight, and gently place it down. Nice work, guys. Lift that other knee up, and straighten that out, and gently place it down. Well done, guys. That's definitely a tough one to finish. So yeah, that was an isometric movement pathway. It's adding in that strength and control, and it's more, rather than working on flexibility there, we're working on that mobility and trying to express our new strength and control in those ranges. Cool, guys. Thank you for joining today.